What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hunter Call the Wild with another early access look at the brand new update coming to Call the Wild. Thank you to the developers for allowing me to be a part of this. This is being recorded many days in advance before this actually drops, so be sure to keep that in mind. We don't know everything about these feeders yet, so we're just going to be going off of the stuff that I do know. Alongside these feeders right here, we also have a few other major things coming with this update. Now, first of all, we have a rework to backpacks, so they're actually quite useful now. They're no longer going to be spooking animals away from like an extra 30 meters. However, you will still have increased visibility as well as increased noise generation when you are close to animals, so they're still going to cause you to spook animals a bit more, but you can safely run around at a distance and not have it affect your hunts. And I forgot to pack my weapons. Well, I'm doing great. Not only do we have a brand new rework to the backpacks, but we also have a rework to the bighorn sheep on Rancho. They are now the desert bighorn sheep, not the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, which is honestly amazing for immersion's sake. And we also have something that is probably my favorite part of this entire update. We have ourselves a brand new Great One, an unexpected turn of events. Who would have thought that we could have got a Great One before a map release? It has been years since they've done that. But we've got the Great One Wolf coming to the game. With 9 different fur variations, this is going to be a lot of fun to chase after. And you can almost guarantee that I will be doing just that over the next few days and, many months to come, depending on how long it takes for us to get all the ones I want. But more on the extra additions coming with this update later and probably in future videos, most likely. Today, we're going to focus on the feeders, and we're not going to focus on using them in a grind sense. We're just placing some feeders around, and we're going to see what shows up to them. We're going to talk about how you can use the feeders, how to get them to work, and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and grab this guy right here. Our very first kill at a feeder, well, at least on video. That is a beauty right there. 152.68 gold blacktail deer, our first kill of the day. Now, the first step in deciding what you want to do with your feeder is you need to make sure that you place it in an area where animals are actually going to travel. Now, to show you guys an idea of what you should be doing, we're going to take a look right here. So this over here is a location that you can get black-tailed deer at. This is also a location that you can get black-tailed deer at. And what you can do is place the feeder in between. There's a 400-meter range from the feeder. If an animal crosses within 400 meters of it, they have a chance of getting attached to that feeder and essentially using that instead of their normal feed zone. Now, animals will only go to the feeders during their feed time. They cannot go there during a drink time. However, you can use the drink times. You can use them just walking through randomly as a way to get them to notice the feeder is there, and they will remember that for the future. Which means in the future, after they've, decided they want to attach themselves to a feeder, they'll continuously show up there regardless of what happens, provided you keep that feeder up and keep it full of food. This is about 215 meters away from our outpost. This should be plenty far away. Let's get a post feeder setup. So this is the way that you're going to be placing down the feeders and also filling them up and stuff like that. You place it down just like you would anything else. There's 2 options for refilling. You can walk up to it and click refill, choose fortified pellet feed or multigrain flake mix. Now, this one right here is going to be for like your deer species, whereas this will be like for your antelope species, and I think some others as well. They don't specify every single animal that can go to these. They just give you a general idea. So we're going to go with fortified feed pellet. We're going to click buy. And now if we go to our map, you can see if we hover over, it says 100% bait remaining. If you click on it, you can see all the info right here. We got 100% bait remaining. It says that it's active. We can refill remotely, which is really handy. And then obviously you can place waypoints and stuff like that. So now that we've got this placed here, we got to figure out a way to get some deer to notice that this is here. And that's going to require a couple different things. We could just put it to the feed time. We've got a zone right here, so they're going to naturally be gravitating towards this. Or we could set it to drink time to get some of the animals that are going to be traveling to these different lakes right here to hopefully go past it and decide that they want to use it as a feed zone. Oh, there we go. We got ourselves some black-tailed deer around this feeder as well. So in this case, all I did was reset the time back to the last hour of feed time. And they have shown up here. Now, obviously, like I said, we could change it to drink time, and I'm sure more would go past here and hopefully get attracted to it. And maybe we could get a bunch of them here. It looks like for now we only have 3 black-tailed deer here, but let's go ahead and kill this one if we can. Also, I do want you guys to notice something. We have had some elk go past here a few times, so the elk most certainly know that this is a zone that they can go to. Let's go ahead and switch it to elk feed time. So let's go ahead and switch it to elk feed time and see if we can get one. Well, we've actually got another black-tailed deer there. I mean, I guess we'll just pop him too. Why not? Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh, there's so many there. We got ourselves a ton of elk around the feeder. Okay, that is what we love to see. Honestly, this might be the best use for the feeders, is being able to hunt a bunch of different species at the exact same spot. You can just continuously change the time to all the different feed times, and if animals go into this area, they're almost certainly going to get attracted to one of the feeders that you have. Let's take that elk down, and that's literally 3 animals in one spot over the course of, like, what, the last few minutes? 2 different species? I could see these being quite fun to use. Now, will they be, like, game changers for grinding? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll have to test that out further in a future video. But one thing I can tell you, this is going to make the realistic hunts, the casual hunts, a whole lot more interesting and fun. Now, one thing that I do want to note from a little bit of the testing that I did earlier today with this update, I don't think that any of the goat or sheep species are currently attracted to any of these feeders, unfortunately. And I think that makes sense because in the Hunter Classic, a salt lick is used to attract, like, feral goats and stuff like that. So I would imagine that that's the route they're going to go with here. So hopefully in the future, they'll add more feeders, and a salt lick would really be a nice addition. But for now, you can't attract stuff like tar or blue sheep or anything like that to any of the feeders. Well, there's our elk. That's a 263 level 3, so not huge, but still a male. I just heard something. Black-tailed deer. They want some more of that food, man. Now, as you can see right here, we've got some bears at the bait barrel. It is nighttime because I believe this is the only feed time that I can remember. There's probably other feed times throughout the day. Let me know if there is. But we got ourselves a couple of bears down there at the bait barrel. Let's take a shot on that one and a shot on that one as well. Oh, there was a third one too, but I mean, we got 2 of them. That's something. Here we go. There is one of our bears that we just shot. That is the level 7 that we heart shot. Absolutely beautiful. Now, that is a vital hit on this guy. As you can see, this is the bait barrel right here. Let's refill this thing with some meat scraps. This is going to attract the predators, obviously, like bears and stuff like that. This will attract stuff like, I believe, boar and other pigs, and maybe some other stuff. Like I said, they're not super specific on what everything attracts. We got to kind of figure it out ourselves. Ah, man. You see that message that just popped up? Yeah, the bears destroyed this. And I literally have a bait barrel, like, not that far away, right? Like, that's unfortunate. I might have to use the, like, post feeder in this location. But I wanted to showcase the box feeder because it is pretty good, actually, for attracting, like, white-tailed deer, moose, things like that. Let's try that again. Maybe the bear will hopefully not kill it this time. And this is what I'm talking about right here. Now, this is another location I had some moose zones and some whitetail zones, and they feed at the same time. So they are both at our feeder right now. They are both at the box feeder, which is really, really cool. So now I think it's time we actually talk about each of these feeders individually, like all the details of what you'll need to know. We'll start with the bait barrel. Now, obviously, this right here is for primarily bears and also, you know, pigs and stuff like that. This is going to be a really useful one if you're into the bear hunting. I have seen lots of bears when I've been messing around with these things before I started this video here, and the bears love these. They absolutely love them. Now, you'll have the meat scraps and the sour mash. Obviously, depending on which one you use, it will attract different animals. Something to keep in mind about all of these feeders, you cannot place these things right next to each other. They have to be spread 300 meters apart. So you can't just put a bunch in one area. They have to be 300 meters apart. It'll have a 400-meter attraction radius. Essentially, if an animal walks within that 400 meters and it's attracted to whatever bait you have in there, it's going to remember that there's something delicious there, and it's going to come back there during feed time. So you can definitely use that to your advantage to get certain animals to go to certain areas, depending on like what are the most open and cool spots that you want to attract them to, you know? You can really get creative with this. The box feeder right here is to primarily target deer species and very similar animals. I believe antelope are also attracted to this one. Because of the fact that it's raised up, you won't be getting like rabbits going here. That is the main purpose of this, to isolate mainly deer and antelope species and, you know, stuff that's similar. Obviously, depending on whichever bait you decide to use, whether you use like the protein blend or whatever they call it, the pellets. I think it's the pellets. So whether you use the pellets or the flakes, that is going to change like what gets attracted to them. Right now, I've got the fortified pellet feed in there, and this is attracting deer. I believe the flake mix does like antelope and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head because they didn't actually like specify it in game. You have to go like read the trailer, all the info that's on that, or you have to go to their website in order to see the fine details of all of this. So yeah, off the top of my head, this is more for antelope. This is more for like deer and similar species. But this is how you fill it. If you want to do it remotely, you can just click on the one you want, click refill, and boom, there you go. It's now full. And the reason for that is because this is supposed to be a bear-proof one. That's something I forgot to mention. The box feeder can be destroyed by bears, so keep that in mind. And that actually already happened in this video. A bear destroyed one of our feeders. Supposedly, you can actually watch the bears destroy them too, which is really interesting. Definitely hope that we can see that at some point. But the post feeder gets rid of that problem. However, it does that at the cost of not being able to preserve your feed as much, because the post feeder just like over time will drop food down. Whereas the box feeder, you only lose feed from it if an animal is actively eating there. So that is the downside of the post feeder. You're going to go through bait faster, which means you're going to be spending more money. However, it's so high up, bears can't destroy it. It also will attract more species than the box feeder. So you'll get, alongside the normal like deer and antelope and stuff, you'll get like little rabbits on the ground going after the feed too. So really, depending on what you want to target, you can do a pretty good job of like isolating certain species with these two in particular. If you want a broader range of things, go with the post feeder. All right, I decided to check out the first feeder we went to, but this time during elk feeding time, and we got ourselves a bunch of elk over there. I think that is probably what I'm going to use these feeders for the most, is stuff like elk and deer. I enjoy hunting those species the most anyway, but I could definitely see this being just super useful for them. And then the other one that I think would be really, really good, I mean, obviously this is deer as well, but whitetail and moose, considering they drink at the same time, that's going to be pretty fire for a little hunt. Okay, we got one over there to the left as well. Lots of bull elk. Love to see it. I think we'll shoot that one because he's giving us a good shot. See if we can get him down. All right, I think we got them both. Or we got neither, because Scarecrow sucks. Another really big use for them that I think people are going to love is being able to attract stuff like springbok, which currently don't have a drink time. This is going to make it a lot easier to find them, because all you got to do is have a couple zones within 400 meters of your feeder, and then boom, you got yourself a nice zone for some springbok, and you can place it wherever you want to get the best vantage point. Definitely love to see that. Let's go ahead and just blast this thing. Now, obviously this is not the correct weapon, but we're going to use it anyway. We got a bunch more coming in. Look at these guys go. Look at them go. Oh yeah, we got males. There we go. Let's get a shot into this guy. Ah, we missed that one. Well, at least we got one of them. There's the little guy that we got from our feeder. That is a level 3 male. Not the biggest one that was there, but it was the one that was staying still and actually gave us a shot, so I decided to take it. We have moved over to Silver Ridge Peaks, and we got ourselves a couple black bear over at our bait barrel. I think I'm probably going to switch to the night vision binoculars. Okay, here we go. We actually have 3 bears at the barrel right now. That's pretty cool, man. I do really like this. I just wish the bears didn't feed at night. That's really gonna limit the amount that I actually use these for bears because I'd like to hunt them in the daytime. That's kind of a bit of a problem. I don't really like nighttime hunting for bears, but you know what? I'm sure quite a few of you will find this interesting. It's definitely going to switch things up quite a bit, and it is pretty fun. It's nice to have a little change of pace. Now, obviously, I have the feeder on top of my drink zone, but that's just because I'm already set up like this, and I just wanted to be able to show you guys that they will go to the feeders. So, yeah, eventually, I'm sure I'll go for some more interesting setups. I hope you guys enjoyed this first look at the brand new feeders. I will, of course, be going more in depth and in detail as I learn more about this DLC and this update in general. Expect a wolf hunting video, expect a hunt for the new moose furs and stuff like that. But this is going to be a pretty exciting early access and full release. I'm very, very excited to be doing content on this update. But yeah, this one I mainly just wanted to cover the DLC and like what each of the feeders does and how you should use them. It's going to be pretty cool to see what the community decides to do with these feeders and if any like new metas are spawned from this release. Definitely curious to see what everybody finds out as more people get their hands on this. Because right now, obviously, we have very limited usage and information on the feeders, and I'm just excited to see how these things get used over time. Let me know in the comments what you think on first look. Are you excited? Do you think they're not really going to change the game too much? What do you think? Let me know. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as well as leaving a comment down below and hitting that like button before you go. Be sure to hype the video up if you have the ability to do that. It's a new feature that YouTube added. Not everybody has it, but it's incredibly helpful to the channels that you hype up, so I would appreciate it if you do. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!